Hi students, how are you? I think you are all doing well. Okay, so I'll continue the lesson that is left out, that is salts and water crystallization. Okay, there are several salts like the calcium sulfate, copper sulfate, manganese sulfate, nickel sulfate, iron sulfate, copper sulfate blue color, iron sulfate green color, like that. Okay, we'll continue the lesson. So in this part, first of all, in this end of this session, what you will know is the objectives of this session is you can know the preparation and uses of bleaching powder, baking soda, washing soda, plaster of Paris, and also about the water crystallization. Okay, students, are you ready? So we ready for the starts. Okay, we'll start with the bleaching powder first. Okay, how to prepare the bleaching powder? But do you know what is the formula of bleaching powder? It is CaOCl2, one calcium combined with one oxygen and two chlorine atoms. CaOCl2 is the formula for bleaching powder. So first of all, we'll learn how to prepare the bleaching powder. Okay, it is prepared by the action of chlorine gas with the slaked lime. What is this slaked lime? Slaked lime is the lime, quick lime plus water. So this lime powder plus water gives the slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide. This slaked lime combined with the chlorine gas to form the calcium hypochloride, CaOCl2. That means CaOCl2 is the formula for bleaching powder. So CaOH twice plus Cl2 gives rise to CaOCl2 plus water. Okay, children, have you understood about the preparation? Just simply the calcium hydroxide combined with chlorine gives rise to calcium hypochloride and water. Okay. Now we'll go for the uses. What are the uses of the bleaching powder? Okay, normally the bleaching powder is a white crystalline substance, a powder. Okay, white crystalline powder. So where it is used actually? Okay, in the textile industries, while making the fabrics, okay, cotton will be made into the threads. While making the cotton into threads, they will bleach those cotton. So bleaching the cotton linen in textile industry is one of the use. Okay, bleaching of that cotton. Another one is in the paper industry. Okay, in the paper industry, normally the papers are made from the wood. Okay, trees will be cut and that big trunk will be cut into small pieces. Those pieces will be stored in chemicals, and those small pieces will be stored under chemicals for several number of days. That we call them as a wood pulp. Okay, at the time of this storage, they will bleach that wood pulp. Okay, so that bleaching of wood pulp in paper industry. Understood? So while making the wood pulp, they will bleach with the bleaching powder. So bleaching of wood pulp in paper industry is another use. And bleaching of washed clothes in the laundries. Laundry means not a small laundries, a big industry type like big laundries. They will use those washed clothes for bleaching purpose, for cleaning. Okay, that is one of the another important use. Okay, not only these, several other uses are also there. Let us discuss them also. Okay, it is used as an oxidizing agent. What is this oxidizing agent? Do you know the reactions oxidation and reduction? Okay, oxidation is addition of oxygen, reduction is addition of hydrogen. Okay, here what are the atoms that are present in the this calcium or hypochloride? You know, this calcium, oxygen and chlorine. If this oxygen is gifted or given to other compound, then it becomes oxidized. Okay, this calcium oxychloride becomes reduced and oxygen is donated to the other compound. If this oxygen is donated to the other compound, this compound is a agent, agent to oxidize. Okay, so this is a good oxidizing agent. It helps the other compound to oxidize. Not this one is going to oxidize. Okay, this bleaching powder helps the other compound to oxidize because it can donate this oxygen to the other compound. Okay, so that's the reason why calcium hypochloride is a good oxidizing agent. What is it? Other use? It is a good oxidizing agent. Okay, not only that, there are other uses are also there. Let us discuss one by one. Okay, here the other one is disinfecting drinking water. Okay, there is disinfecting. It's a good word nowadays. A lot of infections, viruses are dominating our life, isn't it? I have heard a name, sodium hypochlorite solution at the time of COVID. Okay, the GVMC people or the municipality people will come and spray those liquids, isn't it? Sodium hypochlorite solution with a blower. You might have seen several number of times. Okay, this that one is a sodium hypochlorite, and here bleaching powder is a calcium hypochlorite. Instead of calcium, if it is sodium, it is good for the COVID. Okay, and here this specialty is it will kill all those microorganisms, okay, in the water for drinking. So drinking purpose, to remove all those microorganisms and viruses, this bleaching powder is used. See, there is a small difference in the bleach treated water and untreated water. The small smell, if you observe the smell, okay, it is a treated water. It is treated with the bleaching powder. Okay, like that. Other use is also there. It is a reagent in the preparation of chloroform. What is this chloroform? See, in the movies and all, you might have seen the kidnapping. Okay, they use some sprays or a small liquid which is poured on the kerchief, and that will be smelled. Then automatically the one who goes into unconscious stage, who smells those chloroform. Okay, that means chloroform gives the one unconscious state. So to prepare that chloroform, this bleaching powder is used as one of the reactant. So it is reagent used in the preparation of chloroform. This is another also another one of the best use. Okay, so all together, what are those uses? One by one we'll see. Okay, it is bleaching powder is used in the textile industry, in the paper industry, washing of clothes in the laundry, used as an oxidizing agent, used to disinfecting the drinking water, and reagent in the preparation of chloroform. So what is the formula for bleaching powder? CaOCl2. What are the uses? These uses you have to write. And how can you prepare? It can be prepared by the action of slaked lime with chlorine gas. Okay, these are about the bleaching powder. Do you understand, children? Very good. So we learn about another important salt, that is baking soda. So for any of these salts, what is the formula for baking soda? You must have got it out. Okay, what is the formula for baking soda? Is NaHCO3. What is the formula? NaHCO3. And how to prepare? Let us see how it is prepared in the laboratory or in the industries. Okay, it is prepared by the synthesis of the sodium chloride, okay, water, sodium carbon dioxide, and ammonia. Okay, what is the other name of aqueous sodium chloride? I think in the last class I told you what is the aqueous sodium chloride, other name of aqueous sodium chloride. Yes, brine solution. That brine solution, when it is synthesized with carbon dioxide and ammonia, you will get this ammonium chloride, and NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate, both are one and the same. Okay, and it is a mild non-corrosive base. So what is the formula for baking soda? NaHCO3, and it is a mild non-corrosive base. How it is prepared? It is prepared by the synthesis of the this brine solution and carbon dioxide and ammonia. Understood, children, how it is prepared? Okay, good. See, one more property of this baking soda is, while heating the baking soda, okay, what is the formula for baking soda? NaHCO3. While heating it, you will observe that there is a release of the carbon dioxide gas. There is release of carbon dioxide gas along with water, and sodium carbonate will be formed. While heating the baking soda, you will observe there is a formation of sodium carbonate and water, and carbon dioxide gas will be released. Okay, that is one of the property of the baking soda. Carbon dioxide gas will be released when you heat the NaHCO3. That is also the property of baking soda. Okay. Okay. Now one more use of the baking soda. Let us see a peculiar one. See, your mother uses the baking powder when there is any stomach pain. Okay, she will give you the baking powder which is dissolved in some water, isn't it? Okay, like that, there is a small difference in baking soda and baking powder. You have to remember this. Baking powder is different and baking soda is different. Baking powder is the baking soda plus the tartaric acid. So when baking powder, how can you prepare the baking powder? It is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. Any acid, it contains which ions? Yes, H plus ions or the hydrogen ions. That hydrogen ions, when they mix with the baking soda, then it becomes the baking powder. That baking powder will release the carbon dioxide gas and water. Okay, and also it gives you the sodium salts of acid. It forms the sodium salts of acid, and also it releases the carbon dioxide and water. So this baking powder is especially used in the bakeries to make the cakes and the bread, bun, all very soft or spongy, isn't it? So the cakes very soft, isn't it? How it is? Because of the baking powder. Okay, when it is heated or when it treated with this acid, it gives the carbon dioxide gas. This property is used in making the cakes and breads. Understood? So there is a difference in the baking soda and baking powder. So that's the reason why it is used to make cakes and cakes spongy. Understood? So now let us see, observe these two diagrams. If you observe these two diagrams, the first diagram before heating, okay, while making the cake before heating, and second diagram indicates after heating when you kept it in the micro oven. Okay, after some time this cake becomes spongy because of the evolution of which gas? Yes, carbon dioxide gas. That gas will escape from the liquid, okay, and comes out, okay. Then they becomes spongy. So that is the reason why the baking powder is used in the this baking industries. Okay. So all together, what are those uses? We'll see baking soda. What is the formula? CaO, Cl2. What is the color of baking soda? white color. Is it a solid or a liquid? It is a solid crystalline powder. Okay, what are the uses? Let us see all together. As it is a base, okay, automatically it is used as an antacid. Okay, it is used as a antacid. What is this antacid? Antacid means see, it will control the acidity. You might have learned in the previous sessions, isn't it, what is meant by antacid? Okay, so this baking soda is used as a antacid. Okay, ENO is an example for antacid, and as it is a base, it neutralizes the acids. And also the baking soda is used in soda acid fire extinguisher. Soda acid fire extinguisher. So the soda acid is a one type of a fire extinguisher. What is this fire extinguisher? Which controls the fire. When there is a fire, this extinguishers will stop or extinguishes or stops the fire. So this baking soda is also a powder which is used in the fire extinguisher. And also this one of another use is it is used as a mild antiseptic. Okay, it is used as a mild antiseptic. That's the reason why it is used in the ointments also. It is used in the ointments. Understand, these are the main uses of the baking soda. Okay, how it is prepared? It is prepared. How it is prepared? Yes, CaOCl2 is prepared by the action of the chlorine on calcium hydroxide, isn't it? What are the uses? These are the uses: antacid, neutralizes the acid; soda acid, fire extinguisher used in soda acid; and also it is acts like a mild antiseptic. And we'll know further more about the baking soda. So here you might have learned in the previous classes that about the fire extinguisher. Let us just revise once again. Okay, soda acid fire extinguisher. You might have seen this fire extinguisher in the public places like your school, theaters, cinema theaters, malls, and hospitals. Wherever the big public gathering, there is a use of fire extinguishers, isn't it? Have you seen this? Very good. Those you have seen, very good. Okay. Otherwise, look in your school also, and inside that fire extinguisher, it will be like this. Okay. There will be one spindle. There will be one spindle at the top, and okay, and there will be a cartridge inside. There is sulfuric acid is stored inside, and that sulfuric acid, if you hit on the top, it will mix with the sodium bicarbonate which is present outside that cartridge. Okay, then both will be mixed up, and which gas will be released? Yes, carbon dioxide gas will be released. Carbon dioxide is a which stops the, okay, it will be like this. When you hit a knob, this cartridge will be blown out, and all the sulfuric acid will be mixed with the sodium bicarbonate, and there is a release of the carbon dioxide gas from the nozzle. Okay, understood, children? Very good. Let us once again revise all the uses at one time. Okay, simply what is the formula? NaHCO3 is baking soda. Okay, and what are the uses? First of all, it is used as an antacid, and as it is alkaline, it neutralizes the acids. Used in soda acid fire extinguishers, and acts like a mild antiseptic. These are the main uses of the baking soda. Have you understood about baking soda? Good. We'll go for another salt. So another important salt is washing soda. You might have heard the name Ariel, okay, Rin, Surf, and all. Okay, it is the Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. how it is prepared then? It is prepared by recrystallization is a word. Okay, you have to remember recrystallization of sodium carbonate. That means sodium carbonate will be combined with 10 water molecules. 10 water molecules. So one molecule of or 1 mole of sodium carbonate combined with 10 moles of water or 10 molecules of water, then it forms sodium carbonate dot 10H2O. That hydrated, okay, sodium carbonate, hydrated sodium carbonate is the washing soda. Okay, so how do you prepare? Simply by recrystallization of the sodium carbonate. It gives the washing soda. It is prepared like that. Okay, let us see their uses also. Let us see the uses. Okay, the first use is simply it is used in the glass industries, soap industries, paper industries, in the manufacture of borax powder, and as it is washing soda, it is used in the cleaning agent, and also it is used to remove permanent hardness of water. What is this hardness of water? Have you heard a name, hard water and salt water, the lower classes? Yes, I think. Which is treated one is a salt water, which is untreated one from the ground, it is hard water. In that hard water also hardness, also permanent hardness and temporary hardness because of the presence of the undissolved salts. Okay, to remove those salts, hardness, the permanent hardness can be removed by the washing soda, because if it is not treated, okay, in the industries, there will large scaling is formed on the reactors. Okay, so it is very difficult for them to remove all those scaling. Okay, and this treated water will be used to remove the permanent hardness. It is washed with the washing soda. Okay, these are all the main uses of washing soda. Glass industries, soap industries, paper industry, borax powder, cleaning agent, and to remove permanent hardness of water. Have understood, children, about washing soda? What is the formula? Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. How it is formed? By recrystallization of sodium carbonate. What are the uses? These are the uses. Understand? Okay, children. Another one. See, if you observe this picture, do you think those are the statues which are made from the cement, the ideals of cement? No. Are the ideals which are made from clay? No. They are made from POP, plaster of Paris. What is it? POP is plaster of Paris. What is the formula? CaSO4 dot half H2O. Half means hemihydrate. So we will see how do you prepare it and what are the uses one by one. So how to prepare it means, if you take the gypsum, that gypsum, okay, if you heat it at 100 degrees centigrade, why it is 100 degrees centigrade? 273 Kelvin minus 273 is 100 degrees centigrade or 373 Kelvin. Then it becomes the calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi means half H2O, hemihydrate. Okay, so this is prepared by from the gypsum. Okay, while heating you will get the plaster of Paris. What is the formula? CaSO4 half H2O. And some, if your friend leg is broken, then what the doctor will do? He will apply some plaster, or else in Telugu we call them a cement kattu, isn't it? No, it is not cement. It is actually the plaster of Paris. Okay, when the plaster of Paris water is added, it becomes a gypsum, very strong like cement. Okay, so how the gypsum is prepared then? It is prepared by adding the water to the plaster of Paris. So plaster of Paris it has an ability to catch the moisture. That means when it kept outside, it has an ability to catch the moisture and becomes hard. That's the reason why plaster of Paris is stored in a sealed containers. They are always stored in a sealed container. So the plaster of Paris, when water is applied, it becomes gypsum. What is the formula for gypsum? CaSO4 dot 2H2O is gypsum. So gypsum is prepared from plaster of Paris. Okay, if they heat the gypsum, again you will get this calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Understand? So this actually very strong when water is added. Okay, that's the reason why they are making to prepare the ideals of Vinayaka, okay, or Durga, or the ideals like small toys. Okay, so this plaster of Paris plus water becomes gypsum. Okay, it becomes very hard. Okay, that's the reason why it is used to make the toys, decorative articles or decorative materials, in the false ceiling, and also to make the surfaces very smooth. So it will be very smooth and fine. Okay, isn't it? Have you observed the ideals of Vinayaka yesterday, isn't it? Yes, I think you had seen. It's very smooth and soft and very attractive, isn't it? So these are the uses of the plaster of Paris. So how you to prepare? By heating the gypsum at 100 degrees centigrade. And what is the formula for plaster of Paris? CaSO4 half H2O. How the gypsum is prepared? When you add water to the plaster of Paris, it gives you the gypsum. What are the uses? To make the toys, decoration materials, false ceiling, and to make the surfaces very smooth. Understood about plaster of Paris? Good. So let us see one more important concept, that is water crystallization. Water crystallization. What is this actually the meaning of water crystallization? It is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. What is it actually? It is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. That means if you take the copper sulfate, hydrated copper sulfate, it is CuSO4 dot 5H2O. That means one molecule of copper sulfate will combine with 5 molecules of water. So 5 molecules of water will be combined with one copper sulfate. So that crystals, okay, it is a crystallized. Okay, that means it is color is blue colored copper sulfate crystals. And not only that, you might have heard the name, that is washing powder. What is the formula? Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. It is also an hydrated salt. Okay, it is a crystallized hydrated salt. Okay, and not only that, another one as example is Epsom salt, MgSO4. What is it? Epsom salt, MgSO4 dot 7H2O. Like that, these are all some fixed number of water molecules are present in the formula. That's the reason we call them as the water crystallization. So what is the definition? Water crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. That is the definition. Okay, let us see the activity to prove the water crystallization. Okay, so let us take see, if you observe this diagram here, let us take the crystals of copper sulfate. What is the color? Blue color. Okay, take it in a test tube. After taking it in a test tube, okay, and what you will observe is slowly heat the copper sulfate crystals through the Bunsen burner. Okay, slowly it gets heated up, and automatically the color of copper sulfate will be turned into white color. While heating, how many molecules are there in the copper sulfate? Yes, 5 molecules are present. Those 5 molecules will be evaporated, and what remain is anhydrous copper sulfate. What remains? Anhydrous copper sulfate. That means that anhydrous copper sulfate is white color. So blue color will be turned into white. And when again if you add moisture or water, it is moistened, or again water is added, then blue color reappears again. So that is the activity to prove the water crystallization. Take the crystals in a test tube, heat it, and the color changes to white. And if you add water to that cold anhydrous copper sulfate, again it becomes hydrated copper sulfate and turns into blue color. Okay, whenever it is asked to draw the diagram, you have to draw this diagram. Okay, you have to practice this diagram for several number of times. Okay, water crystallization diagram. Okay, how to remove the water crystallization by heating. Okay, again, how can you how can you crystallize again? That means by adding the water again. So what is water crystallization? It is the number of water molecules present in a formula unit. What is water crystallization? Yes, it is the number of water molecules present in formula unit. Good.
Lamp, test tube, beaker filled with water, petri dish. Take some crystals of copper sulfate in a test tube. Now put the test tube on the flame and wait till we expel the water from the crystal. Be patient. Observe water vapors coming out of the hot copper sulfate crystals. Also notice the beautiful blue crystals turning white. Let the anhydrous white powder of copper sulfate cool. Take a pinch of it and feel. It feels dry and powdery. Now add a few drops of water to this anhydrous salt. The salt regains its color and crystalline form. It is blue once again. A substance containing water of crystallization is called a hydrous substance or a hydrate. This water can be expelled by heating, and then the salt is said to have become anhydrous.
Okay, have you understood about the hydrated salts and anhydrous salts, about water crystallization? Very good. And in this session you have learned about so many things, isn't it? About the washing soda, about the baking soda, about plaster of Paris, about bleaching powder, and also the water crystallization. Have understood well? Very good. Don't forget to give the likes. Okay, it will be very encouraging for all your teachers. Okay, very good. Have you followed? Good. Thank you.